The name Green River serial killer might be new to you, but there was a time when Americans feared it like a nightmare. He had a twisted obsession with killing girls so much that he would even sleep next to their bodies. He was so cruel that he eventually lost count of how many victims he had. So, who was this Green River serial killer really? Why was he called that? How did he manage to evade the police for so many years? How was he finally caught? And what made him become a serial killer in the first place? Let's find out everything step by step. After hearing the full story in the video, you'll be shocked. Before we get started, make sure to quickly subscribe to the Serial Killer Files channel and hit the bell icon. Now, let's begin the story. The Green River serial killer's crime started back in 1982. On July 15, 1982, a body was suddenly seen floating in the Green River in Seattle, USA. The police were immediately informed. Upon investigation, they found out that the body belonged to a 16-year-old girl named Wendy Lee. The autopsy report revealed that before anything else, there was a brutal attack, followed by a murder. The police started looking for the killer. Many days passed, but the police came up empty-handed. They hadn't made much progress in the case when exactly 1 month later, on August 15, 1982, 3 bodies were found together in the river. The ages of these 3 girls were 17, 23, and 31 years. The post-mortem report revealed that these 3 were killed in the same way as the first girl. They were assaulted and then strangled. Girls were being killed brutally, and just as the police hadn't even solved these deaths, between October 8th and November 7th, 1982, the bodies of 3 more girls were found around the same river area. The whole state was thrown into an uproar by this news. The police and administration started searching for the killer with full force, but they couldn't find any clues anywhere. Despite having no solid evidence, the police took dozens of suspects into custody and questioned them, but no success came from it. Among the suspects taken into custody was one name. Gary was also from Ridgway. The reason for taking him into custody was that a girl's family claimed the truck they last saw the girl getting into was parked outside Ridgway's house the next morning. Samples from Ridgway and all the suspects were matched with the semen samples and other evidence found in the girl's vagina. But none of the suspects' samples matched the samples taken from the victim's body. All the suspects were released, but at that time, no one knew that the police's suspicions. One of them is freeing their hands. This suspect is the killer of all these girls and is likely to be responsible for the deaths of many more. This suspect was Gary Ridgway. Ridgway was born on February 18, 1949, in Utah, USA. His father was a bus driver. In 1969, he completed his graduation and around that time married his high school girlfriend. Shortly after, he joined the U.S. Navy and was sent to fight for America in the Vietnam War. He started spending most of his time with the workers, and on top of that, he began treating his wife really badly. Because of this, his marriage fell apart within a year. In 1973, he married a woman named Marcia Loren Brown. That marriage somehow kept going, but eventually ended in 1981. The biggest reason for the breakup was that Ridgway would still go to see the workers whenever he had time and treated his wife very harshly. So, in 1981, his second marriage also ended, and after that, he stepped into the world of crime in 1982. Like we mentioned at the start of the video, he began killing girls one after another. His very first murder was on July 15, 1982, when he killed a 16-year-old girl. After that, many more bodies were found in the same river, but the police failed to catch him. Although the police did take him into custody as a suspect in 1982, they couldn't prove any charges against him because back then DNA profiling technology wasn't as advanced as it is today. Because of that, the killer got away. The DNA samples collected from the girls' bodies didn't match Ridgway's DNA sample, so he was cleared. All the bodies found so far had one thing in common. Most of the victims were women and girls who had been killed. Some of these girls had run away from home after fighting with their parents, or their families had thrown them out. Since the workers were being mysteriously killed one after another, the police started keeping an eye on the workers to catch the killer. One day, during this time, the cops saw Ridgway got into a serious fight with a worker and tried to kill him. Seeing this, the police immediately arrested him. They took him into custody and questioned him. They even suspected him in the cases of the murdered girls and made him take a polygraph test. But he managed to fool the polygraph too, so the police had no choice but to let him go. After escaping the police, Ridgway continued killing girls like before. After killing most of them, he would dump their bodies in Green River or nearby areas. The police were only finding bodies. There was no clue about the killer anywhere. Because of this unknown killer, the media started calling him the Green River serial killer. The reason behind this name was that the bodies of 5 girls were found in the Green River, and most of the bodies were discovered around the areas near this river. Over the next few years, the number of girls who died rose to more than a dozen, but the police still had no leads on the killer. On the other hand, the killer Ridgway, after retiring from the U.S. Navy, used to work as a painter in a truck factory. He was so clever that he worked in a factory during the day and then went out hunting girls as soon as evening fell. According to later revelations, Ridgway killed more than 15 girls between 1982 and 1990, but the police still couldn't catch him. While committing crimes behind the scenes in 1985, he started dating a woman named Judith Mooson, and then he married her in 1988. Even with a wife, he kept visiting workers and killing them, following his usual pattern. When the bodies started turning up, the killings just didn't stop, so the government set up the Green River Task Force specifically to catch this one serial killer. The task force tried their absolute hardest, but they didn't get a single lead. When it seemed like they weren't making any progress, they made a new list of suspects and called everyone in for questioning. Ridgway's name was on that list again. After the initial questioning, on April 7, 1987, the police took samples of Ridgway's hair and saliva. The samples had been collected, but even then, the police couldn't make much progress with them. Meanwhile, Ridgway Azad kept roaming freely and continued killing on his own terms. Amidst all this, the year changed. 2001 had arrived. By now, Ridgway had carried out over 50 murders. On the other hand, the police decided to use the latest technology to do DNA profiling again on the samples collected way back on April 7, 1987. Compared to the 1980s, DNA profiling technology had developed a lot by 2001. Around that time, once again, when they tested the DNA from the sample collected in 1987, the police got a major break. Turns out, Ridgway's DNA matched the semen found in the vaginas of 3 girls who were killed in 1982. Not just that, the first girl killed in 1982 had a cloth wrapped around her neck with a special type of paint on it. After matching Ridgway's DNA, they checked that paint against the paint from the factory where Ridgway used to work, and it matched too. Now the police had solid evidence against Ridgway. It was clear. It turned out that Ridgway was the killer of all the girls who had died so far. After this, the police went to the local court and got an arrest warrant issued against Ridgway. Then, on November 30, 2001, Ridgway was arrested while he was leaving a truck factory in Washington where he had been working. By now, the police had uncovered Ridgway's entire truth, but he denied all the charges against him to try and escape. However, this time the police didn't fall for his tricks and interrogated him thoroughly. The story goes on like this for several months, but Ridgway doesn't admit to his crime. However, there comes a time when Ridgway, using his cunning mind, makes a deal with the police. He says he'll confess to all his crimes and give them every detail about each case. But in return, he wants a guarantee that the court won't sentence him to death. The authorities agree to Ridgway's demand. What he reveals after that shakes everyone. Ridgway admits that his first murder was in 1982. After that, he kept killing more people and used to throw the bodies into the Green River. In the beginning, Ridgway says he can't exactly remember how many murders he committed. Still, he estimates to the police that the number of victims could be between 70 and 91. Later, various media reports claim the victim count might be anywhere from 100 to 150. During this interrogation, Ridgway made another chilling revelation. He said he killed most of the girls because, after the killings, there were several girls with whom Rive had sexual relations after murdering them. Not just that, when he couldn't find another girl for many days after a murder, he would go back to the forest and be with the dead body of the same girl. Initially, the post-mortem reports also mentioned that many of the bodies showed signs of sexual assault after death. Following Rive's confessions, the police managed to identify 48 confirmed victims and contacted all their families. The police got involved and started legal proceedings. After the revelations, a total of 48 murder cases were filed against Ridgway. During the investigation, in 2001, the 49th confirmed victim of Ridgway was also identified. After the entire court process, Ridgway was finally sentenced to 48 life imprisonments for the 48 different murders. It might sound strange to you, but the American court sentenced Ridgway to a total of 480 years in prison. Out of this, 10 years were for destroying evidence. That's not all. The court's decision also stated, it's understood that as long as Ridgway is alive, he won't get even a day or an hour of parole, meaning he'll never be able to step outside prison. You might be thinking that someone who committed such a horrible crime deserved the death penalty. But if you remember, we mentioned earlier in the video that Ridgway agreed to confess his crimes only on the condition that he wouldn't be sentenced to death. and that he would cooperate with the police investigation. That's why he wasn't given the death penalty. Still, even though Rizvi didn't get the death sentence, his life imprisonment is basically like a death sentence. His punishment is even worse, because the life sentence he got can be considered worse than death. Talking about Rizvi's current situation, reports say he is now 73 years old. He's kept in a jail where he can neither see sunlight nor daylight. Out of 24 hours, Rizvi has to stay alone in a cell behind bars for 23 hours. He is taken out of his cell for just 1 hour a day, usually only when he has to meet his lawyer or the police for case-related matters. He had to sign the related papers many times, and often he was kept locked up in a cell for weeks on end. Food and water were just passed to him from a distance. After Rizvi's arrest in 2001, he got divorced from his third wife in 2002. Now the biggest question is, how did such an ordinary guy turn into such a brutal serial killer? Why did he hate workers and women so much? To find the answer, it's important to understand Rizvi's childhood. According to reports, Rizvi was born into a family where the environment wasn't good at all. Like I told you earlier, Rizwan's dad was a bus driver, and he used to bring sex workers home with him often. Sometimes he even got caught with them. Because of this, there were constant fights between his parents. Due to all these arguments, Rizwan and his siblings didn't get a proper upbringing and had to grow up in a really tough environment. On top of that, Rizwan had a habit of wetting the bed since he was a kid. Even when he was 12 years old, he would still pee in bed while sleeping. According to reports, his mother used to beat him badly because of this. Whenever Rizway went to bed, his mother would make him take a bath for a long time, even in freezing cold weather. Since his parents often fought because of the worker, Rizway started hating the worker a lot. Because of his mom's beatings, Rizway began to hate his mother too. Over time, this hatred grew so much that he started killing the workers. During the police investigation, Rizway also said that he felt a lot of satisfaction whenever he killed a worker. Besides that, whenever he killed a woman, he felt like he was killing his own mother, and that gave him pleasure. According to Rizwan, he felt like he was taking revenge for his childhood through his mother. Because of the murders and confessions by Rizwan, he is considered the second most dangerous serial killer in American history. Several movies have been made about his brutality. Friends, do you agree with the sentence given to this ruthless serial killer? Let us know in the comments. If you liked our effort, please like and share this video. If you haven't subscribed to the Serial Killer Files channel yet, do it now and hit the bell icon too. Stay tuned with us for more gripping stories from the world of crime.